Welcome to the latest Mango Report. Knowledge has always taken root in two very different soils. One is the soil of perception, the direct experience of the world through touch, sight, hearing, taste, and smell. The other is the soil of language, the words, symbols, and stories we inherit and exchange with one another. Together, these pathways shape how humans understand reality. Yet in the age of artificial intelligence, the gap between them is being thrown into sharp relief. Perceptual knowledge is anchored in the body. When we burn a hand on fire, stumble on uneven ground, or feel the rhythm of breath while running, we are not simply gathering data but undergoing reality. This kind of knowing is visceral. It teaches us not just that fire burns, but what burning is. It grounds knowledge in consequence. The physical world answers us back, it resists, surprises, and imprints itself on our memory. Language-based knowledge, by contrast, is mediated. It flows through symbols, abstractions, and communication. When we read that fire burns, we acquire the concept without the scar. When we hear a story of someone's struggle, we glimpse an echo of their experience without walking their path. This kind of knowledge is transmissible at a scale. It allows one generation to pass its lessons to the next without each person repeating the same mistakes. It is lighter, faster, and less costly than perception, but also thinner. Artificial intelligence exists almost entirely within this domain. Large language models do not see the flame, feel the heat, or recoil in pain. They process the traces of human experience already encoded in words. In doing so, they achieve something astonishing, a vast synthesis of human expression, recombined into new insights, metaphors, and instructions. Yet what they lack is the anchor of direct encounter. They operate in an echo chamber of language, without ever touching the raw world that language is meant to describe. This raises a profound question. Can knowledge divorced from perception be called knowledge at all? On one hand, language gives us the power to imagine what we have not lived, to design futures we have not yet built. On the other hand, without the friction of reality, language risks floating free, untethered, and untested. The danger is mistaking fluency for truth. Perhaps the deepest lesson is that both pathways are incomplete on their own. Perception without language is limited to the individual, fragile and fleeting. Language without perception risks hollowness, a perfect grammar with no ground. Human beings live in the tension between the two. We stumble, we learn, we speak, and through this cycle we grow. As artificial intelligence advances, we are confronted with this old duality in a new form. Machines can now speak in torrents of language, but they cannot yet touch, taste, or feel. The future may hinge on whether they remain masters of words alone, or whether we find ways to let them share in the stubborn, unpredictable, grounding resistance of the physical world. In the end, perception gives knowledge its weight, and language gives it its wings. To choose one over the other is to misunderstand what it means to know.